I didn't know I was dying, but I was dying. And I was right in that sort of twilight zone, and a black pit opened up underneath me, and I felt myself starting to get pulled down into it. I didn't want to go, like it was cold and dark and black and bottomless, and I just knew I did not want to go down there. I was getting pulled down into it, and right at that moment, my father, who passed away in 2012, sort of appeared next to me and started trying to communicate with me and comfort me. What you just heard was a near-death experience from this guy who went on Joe Rogan kind of recently and described his near-death experience. Now, this man is still an atheist after having this experience. He believes that his brain was just hallucinating and going through a normal near-death experience process. In my opinion, he was literally about to go to hell, and now he has a second chance. But instead of realizing that there is life after death, he is choosing to believe that it was just science and his hallucinations and nothing more than that. I mean, are you crazy? Think about this, man. You just got a second chance. Many people don't get second chances. But anyway, today we are talking about near-death experiences and whether or not the Bible supports this idea. So let's go. A near-death experience is when a person is at the brink of death and upon recovery reports an unusual occurrence, generally an out-of-body experience or some sort of vision of heaven or hell. Now, many people associate near-death experiences with visions or dreams, but it's not necessarily the same thing. You might get the same thing out of it, but just check out these stats on this website. According to the National Library of Medicine, near-death experiences are reported by about 17% of those who nearly die. NDEs have been reported by children, adults, scientists, physicians, priests, ministers, among the religious and atheists, and from countries throughout the world. So all these different people who have different lives, different ages, different genders, all are seeing the same thing and reporting the same type of experience. According to the National Library of Medicine, here are the main characteristics of these experiences. Usually it's a perception of seeing and hearing apart from the physical body, passing into or through a tunnel, and encountering a mystical light, intense and generally positive emotions, and a review of part or all of their prior life experiences. Sometimes these people even encounter deceased loved ones, and they even get a choice to return to their earthly life. Now, based off of my experience from watching near-death experience videos on YouTube, TikTok, etc., like, I'm a nerd and I used to fall asleep listening to people who supposedly went to heaven or went to hell. And at first I was very skeptical, but the more I listen to, the more I'm like, they can't all be lying. Why would they all lie about this? Now, for sure, some of them are lying just to get fame, but some of these people, you can tell they don't care. They don't care about the fame. They literally just want to encourage people to not go to hell, or they want to encourage people to experience the love and heavenly experience of heaven. So here comes one of the coolest parts of the videos. I'm going to narrate a negative and a positive near-death experience, so that way you can see the difference. So let's start off with a scary one. In March 1992, Matthew Boxford walked out of a restaurant in Atlanta and found himself in the middle of a gun battle. He was struck in the back of the head with a 9mm bullet. Before he knew it, he had died and gone to hell. Boxford wrote in A Day of Hell, "Utter darkness enveloped me, as if thick black ink had been poured over my eyes." He later described being hung over an abyss as heat blasted up from below. Pairs of demonic eyes crept toward him before a divine entity grabbed him by the waist and said, "It's not your time." Anita Morgani was experiencing death. She was losing her battle to cancer, and she found herself crossing over into the afterlife. Here's what she had to say. "I felt as though I was above my body. It was like I had a 360-degree peripheral vision of the whole area around, but not just in the room where my body was in, but beyond the room." She claimed to have visited with her father, and her father told her that she had to turn back because if she kept going forward, she would not be able to return back. But she says she didn't want to go back because this place was so unbelievably beautiful and peaceful. He said that I've gone as far as I can, and if I go any further, I won't be able to turn back. But I felt I didn't want to turn back because it was so beautiful. It was so incredible because for the first time, all the pain had gone, All the discomfort had gone, all the fear was gone. I just felt so incredible, and I felt as though I was enveloped in this feeling of just love, unconditional love. This next individual was named Annabelle Beam. She was diagnosed with cancer at 4 years old, and at 8 years old, her pain became too intense, and she told her parents that she simply wanted to go home with Jesus. I told my mom, "Mama, I want to die and go to heaven with Jesus where there is no more pain. I don't want to be in this pain for the rest of my life." And so I was committed to just giving up that sometimes. Whenever I couldn't sleep, I'd kind of try and figure out what would happen if I did die. Then I decided my mom would come with me, my dad would stay and watch my sisters. Days later, Annabelle fell from a tree branch from 30 feet high. She hit her head 3 times on the way down, and she claimed that she went to heaven during the fall. This is what she said she saw. "It was really bright, and I sat on Jesus' lap, and he told me, 'Whenever the firefighters get you out, there will be nothing wrong with you,'" Annabelle recalled. And I asked him if I could stay, and he said, "No, I have plans you need to fulfill on earth that you cannot fulfill in heaven." And if any of you try to tell me that this is just a coincidence that this little girl experienced this, you're lying. There's no way. There's no way a little girl would just come up with this on her own. But that is it for today's video. I hope you guys liked it. If you don't subscribe, please make sure you subscribe. So I will see you guys later. Peace.